everybody, it's Kip Teasel with DT4 EMS and a quick little episode of Chronicles of a Culture Changer. And what I would like to bring up for you today is the whole blurring of the lines between custody and care. Now, I can sum this up pretty quickly by saying, being cross-trained both as a policeman and a paramedic, and as well as an educator in both of those areas, are what allow me to have the observations and research opinions that I do have based upon why I see what we see going on in the culture right now. Well, think about it like this. If I'm on duty as a police officer, in uniform as a police officer, and I offered medical care that I knew as a paramedic to someone on a scene, this is a good thing. This could be seen as a wonderful thing, a great customer service tool, a great community respect building tool. But then let's contrast that with, let's say I'm a paramedic and I'm in a paramedic uniform and I'm on the ambulance and I'm on an ambulance run. However, I decide to start taking some sort of police action. Although I'm trained as a police officer, I have thoughts that a police officer may have. Consider the dangers of what happens in the big scheme of things if I act like a police officer while dressed in a paramedic uniform. The public then would begin to see me as an extension of law enforcement. The police officer can see me as an extension of law enforcement. The person I'm using force on sees me as an extension of law enforcement. Myself and my peers then would begin to see me as an extension of law enforcement. However, when people are acting, so let's shift gears for just a minute. So the actions taken while on duty as a paramedic, an EMT, a nurse, or a tech in the ED, when I take some form of law enforcement action, meaning using force, ordering someone, doing things like that without real context behind them, because if we are supposed to be offering care under consent, at what part of taking custody is part of a healthcare provider's job? What I'm sharing with you is that, police officers have to work through a very narrow scope when it comes to when they're supposed to use force or not. And as you can see, perception of the force used when captured on camera may not always paint the entire picture of the entire context of the entire situation beforehand, during, and directly after. Where in healthcare, without the knowledge that goes along with when to, when not to, how to, what would be excessive, when should I not ever use force? Man, that's a slippery slope that we're on. So what I'm trying to say is, if even as a police officer paramedic, being trained and certified in both at the exact same time, working two separate jobs. Once I understood, and really understood, because it took me a while too, but once I really understood that, man, when I was acting as a paramedic and I'm dressed like a paramedic, I'm a paramedic. If a person breaks the law, I may make note of that and, tell law enforcement, but it wasn't my place to act like a police officer while I was on an ambulance. That's the contrast, guys. If you're a policeman offering first aid, that's a win. If you are a paramedic taking police action, or an EMT taking police action, a nurse taking some sort of police action, man, does that muddy the water. So I'm not telling you the whole right versus wrong thing here. What I'm trying to get you to do is look at the big picture. What I'm trying to share with you is the use of force in medicine, either it being used against us or us using it on other people, is a dangerous place. And everything changes once you touch someone. Meaning that if we're jawing at each other from 10 feet away, that's one thing. But the moment one person touches another, everything changes. Laws govern it, morals govern it, personal beliefs govern it, perceptions govern it. I mean, so many things come into play when we touch one another. So that's it for today. I just really need you to really think about how that line is being blurred between custody and care. And if I'm wearing one uniform versus the other uniform, man, oh man. Guys, until next time, practice saving yours while you save others, because I'm telling you, you are just as important as anybody else.